Hey guys, this is Deacon with Riddle Wrapped. I want to take a quick look here at John Stewart Green Lantern from Sideshow Collectibles. This premium format is the latest addition to my collection. Before we talk about all of the great points about this statue, and there are many, want to address very quickly an issue that I noticed on mine once I put them together. There is this gap here between the construct that's attached to the figure and the construct that's attached to the base. Now this gap obviously should not be here, but there is no way to get rid of it. I've pushed and pulled every which way, but there it is. I called Sideshow and was told that this is an issue that they're very well aware of on this particular piece, and apparently has to do with the way the polystone cool. Now, obviously, it's kind of a frustrating answer because, you know, Sideshow has been doing statues for a while. You would think that they had this down to a science at this point, but it is what it is. The only options I have are to either keep the statue and live with it, or return it. And I definitely want to keep this statue in my collection, so I will just have to live with this. Now, I will say the good thing is that this bit is toward the back side of the statue. So if you have it displayed, say like this, you don't see that at all. Now, if you don't have it looking straight on and maybe off to the side, then yes, you do see it. But again, it's not a super prominent part of the statue itself. You know, nobody's going to be looking for that, I don't think. So not a big deal, but it is worth knowing that if you do decide to pick this up, just be forewarned that you will have this gap here. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about this statue. This statue is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Now this is a sculpt by Keith Kopinski, and I think he's done a fantastic job on this piece, especially with the portraits. I mean, look at this one. It looks absolutely fantastic. You can just see the ferocity in his face, how intense that looks. One of the best portraits, I think, that I've ever seen on a statue, to be honest. Portrait looks good, the hair looks good, the color is just fantastic. And I do have the exclusive, so this is the exclusive portrait that has the angry expression. The collector's edition also looks really, really good, and it's just it's a very serious expression, but not this angry expression that you see on the exclusive portrait. Actually, let me just switch them right now so you can see the difference. Oops. There we go. So that is the collector's edition portrait, which still looks fantastic. You would say still angry expression, it seems, somewhat, just not, I guess, as angry as the other one, which is the one that I prefer and the one that I will be displaying him with. So let's switch that back. Sorry for the shaky camera. Yeah, that's the one. I especially like this portrait because of, look at the cannon that he has constructed over his arm. I mean, it just goes so well with this. So love it, absolutely love it. Okay, so the sculpt of this piece is really well done. The musculature is done really, really nicely all the way around. Go around here so you see. Very nicely done. I'll back up in a bit so we can see the full statue when I spin it around. But it's done nicely. His suit is mostly black, obviously, which is accurate for John Stewart. And it's very smooth, matte black. So not a lot of texturing in it, except you have these lines that run all through different parts of the suit. And then you've got this, the green areas of the suit. It's got this metallic green color that looks really, really great, both with the black as well as with the skin color of John himself. So really nicely done. I love that green. And that green is at the top there, around his neck, shoulders, down to his emblem, and then around his forearms, and then his boots as well have that same metallic green finish. They look really, really good. The paint application on this is brilliant. You know, no complaints. You don't see any areas of bleed through or overspray. It just looks nicely done. Let's talk about the construct. I'm such a fan of this construct, and what's interesting to me is that I've heard people complain about the construct on this piece, and I cannot imagine why. It is admittedly a departure from what we see on GLs, but that's a good thing in my opinion. Now, not only is John Stewart not usually the Green Lantern that you find a lot of statues of out there. Usually, of course, it's Hal Jordan. And I do like Hal Jordan, but John Stewart just happens to be my favorite Green Lantern. Most of the GL statues have the same translucent resin that's kind of swirly around his arm or his body or the base or whatever. It's basically the same thing that's been done so many times. This one here has these clean lines and angles that I absolutely think is great. And of course, it's a construct, right? So it goes according to the will of the Green Lantern who's forming the construct. So it really should be able to look any way you want it to. And John Stewart has chosen this construct that looks like this, and I think it's great. The paint that they've chosen to use on this construct really sort of gives that light up effect anyway. And I think it looks really, really, really well done. So the construct goes, I mean, obviously it's coming through his ring on this hand, which looks great. They have a bit of a green spray on the hand as well to give the effect of a glow from the ring and the construct. And then basically he's drawing it. It's going around the meteor that makes up the base here, wraps around his body from his back, and then into this cannon over this arm, which looks so good. And that's another reason why I love the way they've chosen to do the construct, is because you see those clean lines and angles make their way up here, and you see that through the details in the cannon as well, which I thought was really a nice touch. So I think it looks great. The base, fairly small base. It's a little bit tall, just so that it can give GL that effect of flight, which is a great pose for this piece, but it doesn't take up too much real estate. Fairly easy to fit this just about anywhere you would want to display him. And even though the meteor is a bit tall and GL is in flight, the statue himself is also not too large, honestly, especially if you compare this to other Justice League premium formats in this line. Most of them, I mean, are much taller than GL is here. So if you've seen photographs of this before, you own the piece, obviously there's something missing from mine, and that's this that fits in on the end here. I basically don't have it on mine, and I'm not going to display it just because I don't personally care for this piece, and I don't think that it's even necessary. It's a very solid piece. It feels quality, but I just don't like the look of it. And also, the way they have the energy stream sort of going back on the gun here, I feel like it hides a lot of the detail on the barrel of the gun that I actually prefer, and I like to see that. So even though this comes with it, I will not be displaying that on my GL. I may eventually have something made that fits into the opening on the cannon here, or I might not. I don't know. As it is, I display it just the way you see it, and I really like the way that looks. So that's pretty much long and short of it on this piece, guys. I really like this GL. I think they did a phenomenal job, and the statue looks great. A lot of things about it just have been done very, very well. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm at Riddle Wrapped, and I do have some photographs of this already on there. I think I put those up about a week or so ago, so you can check those out. If there's anything that I haven't talked about with this statue that you want me to mention or provide some details on, just let me know, and I will oblige. But yeah, that is John Stewart Green Lantern premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. I definitely recommend this one, guys, especially if you are a John Stewart fan. You know, Hal Jordan statues come out all the time. It's somewhat rare to get a John Stewart Green Lantern, especially one that is done in quarter scale and done very nicely as this one has been. So if you're a fan, I would recommend picking him up. I think he's definitely worth a buy. But that's about it then, guys. Until next time, keep cool, keep calm, and keep collecting.